This is a Tecsun induction aerial inductive loop. Um, it's designed for medium wave radio and helps tuning in sort of very weak signals. The nice thing about them is I think they look really cool. They look like something out of a science fiction film. Um, it's really nicely made. They're not that expensive. I think I paid something like £20 for this one. And the purpose of these is for basically DX reception, or actually quite useful for medium wave reception in tricky areas when you've got a lot of interference. They're quite good because you can actually sort of null out interference because you can twist the area around and get a directional effect. Now, it's basically a quick product review and just to show you how effective it is. And I recommend it to a lot of my followers who are into sort of radio and stuff to buy one of these. As I say, they're cheap and they're very effective, and I think they look really funky as well. So basically what you've got is a tuned coil and a capacitor, which basically makes what the Americans called a tank circuit or a tuned circuit. And basically what you do is you tune your radio to the station you're trying to resolve and adjust the trimming capacitor until the circuit comes on resonance, and you'll get a big improvement on in reception. It's also got, for people who've got an external aerial input, a 3.5mm jack plug. I actually haven't got a 3.5mm to 3.5mm jack plug at the moment, but I was going to try and connect it up to my Sony ICF 2001, which is for no reason why it shouldn't work on the Sony really well. And of course it's also good as it means you can actually move the aerial away from the radio. Like if you're, like for example, I've had to turn my monitor off here because the interference in the monitor's electronics was so bad. So you can actually move the aerial onto, say, like the windowsill, and then you'd get away from all your RF noise. Now, obviously, it's a very directional area, so when you're doing this, you need to tune to the best performance you can get, and then you adjust. Then you turn the aerial until you get the quietest noise or the strongest signal. So if you've got interference adjacent, if you get it out of phase, then you can basically cancel out any noise. So they're great for getting rid of unwanted RFI from modern electronics, like demonstration I've shown you before with switch mode power supplies that block everything out. So let's give it a little demonstration. First of all, I'll take it away so it's not near my radio. And this is my little Dynatron Tourist TP14. We'll find a signal that's fairly weak and we'll tune it in. And there's lots of noise. I've got a computer installing at the moment, so we've got lots of switching noise. But let's try and find a weak signal. Trying to find a really weak signal that you can actually hear just about. There's a very weak signal. Okay, so you can barely hear that. So let's bring the loop aerial next to the Dynatron, and then we'll adjust the tuning and we'll see what we get. The difference that is. So, as an assistance for a medium wave radio, they're really good. I think they're great, and they cause lots of intrigue. When I took this one to work and showed people at work, they thought it was almost like magic. How could the radio work better with this thing next to it? So it's great for kids as well if you're teaching children electronics and trying to get them into electronics. Things like this is a great start. This one will only work on medium wave. I think they do them for other frequencies but they come a bit more cumbersome. Obviously, if you're using lower frequencies, you need a bigger loop. The one I built at home, which is obviously sort of 3 times the diameter of this, performs slightly better than this, but not a lot. And it certainly doesn't look as nice. It doesn't look as sort of far-fetched as this does. Long wave, as I say, yeah, it doesn't work on long wave. I did try and make mine work on long wave frequencies, but I needed to add so many more coils to the wire, and then I sort of lost interest because I had to make a selectable switch to actually select in the amount of turns I needed to get the frequency response, to get the circuit to resonate properly. So it's becoming a bit complicated, and I ended up deciding that because long wave's only transmission is radio 4, I thought it really wasn't worth bothering about. So, as I say, for medium wave reception, it's really cool. And this model, by the way, is the Tecsun AN200, and it's just a nice little bit of kit, I think, and well worth thinking about if you're into medium wave reception and DXing.